By show of hands, whose first coffee collab is this today? Great. This is wonderful. We're really leveraging this special event to bring people into our world of economic development. So my name is Joanna Nelson. I am the director of the Office of Economic Development for the City of Santa Fe. And we host these coffee collabs regularly. We hope you continue to come to these. Our intent and our agenda is really simple. We want you to come together if you are working towards similar missions of supporting and growing our economy, making sure we've got opportunity that's equitable for our community members. And really how we do that is talking, collaborating, communicating, sharing some coffee, getting really caffeinated, and working together. So again, we encourage you to work with us and get in touch with us. I'd like to recognize our City of Santa Fe Economic Development team. So, if you raise your hand if you're Office of Economic Development. This is your business support team. We take this work really seriously. Our purpose is to make sure our businesses, our nonprofits have the support and the resources that they need to be successful and grow. We work really hard to make sure we've got what we need to be successful. Thank you to the team, thank you especially to Loretta, to Eric for helping organize this event today. Hey. I also want to give a warm welcome, and hopefully you'll help me do that, to our interns that we University that are with us for the next 2 months. We've also got Panther from Santa Fe High School. Really excited to have them. It's a very, very busy summer for us, and we're thrilled to snap up and have some additional things there. I'd also like to recognize David Sumberg with the Farmers Market Institute that helped host us today. They're a great organization, and it's summertime. Come down to the rail yard and come to us all the time. It's such a great community event. Also, thanks to you folks for the delicious food that continue. I'd also like to recognize the City of Santa Fe team here today. Because this is such a special event, we've got folks that extend beyond our Office of Economic Development, including Office of Affordable Housing, the MRA. Can you raise your hand if you're with the City of Santa Fe? Thank you so much. We've also got some elected officials here today. We're really honored that they could join us today. I know our City Councilor Alma Castro is here. Thank you. Representative Lupon is here. Our Senator. Any other elected officials that we missed? All right, could you see? We don't know each other. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Vernon. You did recognize that, so I'm glad. We got that. All right, anybody else? Thank you again for coming. We're really honored that you're here. We've got the lights, so we want to make sure that you're updated with all the activity that we've got going on in the Office of Economic Development. We just kicked off efforts to start a comprehensive economic development strategy, as well as a workforce development strategy. We're really excited about that. We will be reaching out to you to get your input and your insight and your engagement. Just launched the RFP for building across the street for the Old Warehouse 21. Creative Industry Week. It's Creative Industry Week, so the launch of this opportunity to support the creative industries is really exciting for us this issue. Hopefully you're participating in the Creative Industries Week. And I want to take a second as well to make sure you are signed up for our newsletters. Hopefully, who is not signed up for our newsletters? Nobody wants to admit that, or I'm going to assume that everybody is signed up. This is a way that you can stay up to date with not only events that we're supporting, but news, data, grants, loans. This is a great place to stay in touch with the economic development activity in our community. So please sign up. We're also making an effort to organize an official economic development communications network, much like our friends at the SBA, so I encourage you to reach out there as well. So, I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, and he's going to make some comments, because today is a really special day that we are honoring my boss, Director Rich Brown, Director of the Community Development Department. And in 2 weeks, the countdown has officially begun. It's hard to believe. I previously, at an Economic Development Advisory Council, ugly cried in public at a meeting. I'm not going to do that today. This is really about celebrating Rich and his tenure and his career, and his leadership and guidance. And there are so many people here that I think helps me and breaks us to be Rich. So we're going to turn it over to the mayor to make some comments, and then we're going to have open mic. If you have a story or comments you would like to share from Rich, we will turn it over to you as well. Then open it up to Director Brown. Thank you again, Mayor.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks, everyone. Well, I really appreciate everybody coming here to this intervention. Rich doesn't know that we've all come together to prevent him from making a fatal mistake. We all know there is no such thing as retirement in this modern world. You don't ever, well, you may stop getting paid, Rich, but you don't ever stop working. I was thinking back to the first time I even became aware that there was such a person as Rich Brown. It was when there was an opening for our economic development leadership. And everybody said to me, there's this guy, he came in as like the lowest level person in economic development because he had retired. It sounds like it's a broken record, doesn't it? But he's great. Everywhere he goes, he solves problems. Everywhere he goes, people love working with him. Everywhere he goes, he brings people together. And he just has this magic gift for getting things done in a constructive, positive, collaborative way. It helped that our previous director's name was Brown too, so we didn't have to change any of the names on letterhead or office doors. I guess we're going to have to look for somebody else named Brown to fill your job, Rich. But in addition to all those qualities, which it turned out were absolutely true, you've also built a great team. It takes talent to attract talent. And that's another gift that Rich has. He has created inside the umbrella of community development probably the most outstanding group of people to work for the city of Santa Fe in all of those different departments. And beyond those departments, to work collaboratively with Public Works, with all the parts that go into Midtown, go into making economic and community development happen. So if I could create an intervention to convince Rich that he was wrong in seeking to quote-unquote retire, or utilize the Santa Fe Police Department to put him under house arrest and keep him on the job, I would do it. But I can't. So instead, I'd like to offer a toast. If you have anything in a glass or a cup, please raise it, and let's all toast our friend, our colleague, Rich Brown. Man, we love you. Good wishes to you in whatever you do next. Thanks for all you've done for us. Terrific. Who gets the mic next, John?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I know we've got a handful of people who expressed that they have a few things to say about what's going on with Rich Brown. Let's see, I think one of the folks who's on our short list was Alex. Are you out there someplace? Oh, right here in front, right here, exactly where you should be.
Thank you, Eric. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Alexandra Ladd. I'm the director for the city's Office of Affordable Housing. Twice in the last 8 years, I also served as interim economic development director when the position was not filled. And I'm going to build a little bit on the mayor's story because I was one of those people who said to the mayor, hey, I can't do this job forever, and there's this really great person that you should talk to. Rich had been hired in between my two tenures as the temporary economic development director, and the first time lasted too long. So the second time, I had my eyeballs open, and I was like, who's going to take this job? Because I'm not doing this forever. So what I realized was that anytime I wanted to run something by another brain, or I had a question about something, or I just sort of needed someone to listen to me vent for a moment, I kept finding myself in Rich's cubicle and just telling him and asking him. And that was what brought me to the mayor to say, well, first I asked Rich, I said, hey, this is a crazy question. Any chance you want this job? And he looked at me like I was sprouting worms on the top of my head and said, no, I don't think so, but let me think about it. And then in true Rich fashion, he came back with a compliment to me. And he said, the job seemed crazy, but after watching how you do it, I think I could do it, and that it is a doable job. So that was my first experience with Rich and his amazing capacity to recognize people, to value people, to appreciate all of the work that we're all doing for this very complicated organization that has a lot of stuff going on. And I just feel like I've never felt so much kindness coming off of a human being in a stressful work situation and in many fun social situations as well, as you, Rich. And I know every time I would hear your chuckle, I would know everything is okay in the world, no matter how bad a day it was. I'm really going to miss your chuckle. So thank you for everything.
Good morning, Santa Fe. How are you? I'm going to do two things. I'm going to hop the mic because you're a captive audience, so tough. You got to get through this. I want to tell you how great the city's doing right now. We just finished our third annual financial audit in less than 11 months. It was 10.5 months. The city is caught up. We continue to have our amazing bond rating. We are now compliant with state law for the first 7 years. We fixed the problem, and we're going to be on time and current with the airport. That's a big deal for us. If you haven't been out to the airport yet, we finished our terminal update about 6 weeks ago. It is a significant step forward. You no longer have to sit on the floor next to the vending machine to charge your phone. Okay? Every chair has a place to charge your laptop, to charge your phone. Not to brag, there are curbs now in the parking lot with lights and lines. There's a vendor inside selling breakfast burritos and coffee, 24 hours, 24 hours a day, all day long we're there. We're still finishing the parking lot, but that's coming. There's huge progress because of Rich and Karen Iverson and others at the Midtown campus. We're filming movies in every square corner of the city, and the people who represent the city right now, the Riches, the Alexes, the Erics, everyone else, are truly some of the very best people, if not the best people, to work for the city of St. Ives. So, whenever you read, the newspaper, maybe take a grain of salt that those of us who work in the city are not genuinely doing everything we can to drive it and move it to the ground. We're actually doing extraordinary things, including getting ready to start spending about $60 million on one-time investments in making Seneca the best place to live. Fixing parks and roads and sidewalks and medians and all the things in between. Investing about $750,000 for a security team to be working in the downtown community to help make sure that the businesses and tourists and the residents are safe downtown. So there's a lot of great things going on. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. Rich Brown. So, yeah, look at him. How many took that? Rich Brown, as you know, if you're here today, represents the Master Public Service. As the mayor mentioned, Rich had already retired and could have coasted off into reading books all day and hanging out at home. But he and his husband moved back to Santa Fe, and he stepped up and said, I want to help. And then when an opportunity to do more came along, he stepped up again. And when it came along again, he stepped up again. And Rich is truly, he's so, as Alex mentioned, he's so kind in how he interacts with you all and with staff. He's collaborative. He's so creative and inventive about what can and cannot happen in Santa Fe and where, even if people haven't thought about it before, where we can go together and how to do it in a way that we're all part of it and invested in that success. And it is a huge loss for us to be together. Because of Rich, we've also now identified that whenever a senior staff member leaves city service, they have to volunteer for a board or commission. And so before Rich can leave, we're going to make him check off whether he's planning to serve on the planning commission or EDAC or what he'd like to do. But Rich Brown, I think you know that I have genuine love for you and for your family. You truly are the very best. And we're going to miss you. And thank you for all you've done to make Santa Fe a sure heart. Love you so much.
Oh, yes. Now we're going to get the real dirt.
You're a real dirt. I'm here to really build on what John said, because I think what is really amazing and inspiring is, yes, Rich's compassion, his kindness, his incredible humanity. But one of the things I think that, and most of us here have dealt with him professionally, is he's a visionary. He has a vision. When he comes into a room and he has a group of people, you can see his leadership because he puts something on the table, but he's not fixed to it. He's willing to listen to what you're saying, and just takes that into account and forms it as part of his vision. And it's challenging to have a vision for people. It's not something easy. And really, Rich makes it look so incredibly easy to have a vision. And he'll say it with conviction, and you start seeing how it can all fall into place. And also, as his work wife of many years, he's so much fun. When you have a meeting with Rich, you know that even if you make a terrible joke, he's gonna chuckle. He's the best audience ever. So, and he takes whatever you have and he elevates it. And so I think that that's really such an amazing gift. I think his optimism that he brings is energy that really fuels the vision as well. He really tries to bring that optimism and say, this is possible, this is possible. And he will go forward. You may fall short, maybe sometimes, and then you'll be like, that Rich, he was just talking, but you wouldn't have gotten that far if he hadn't put those limits, if he hadn't dreamt that big, and he makes you want to really dream bigger. And then sometimes you might get a little disappointed in the way where you're like, well, that one didn't come through. But you know what? He brings other people in, and he makes that happen in a different way because he's always forging a different path and trying to find a different way to solve things. And as you go along in the journey, and as you know, working in government, everything doesn't go exactly as planned. He's so adaptable. He adapts, he moves with it, and hopefully, you won't be back then on the tennis courts where I'm sure we'll be seeing each other. So many congratulations. So new, exciting chapter for you. I'm incredibly happy. Your son's off to college. You'll be spending some time at Sea Ranch. Let's hope you don't have another accident on the courts. That's the other thing. Rich is just such an amazingly hard worker. I spent that time with him when he had that accident. He was on holiday working on press releases. He was working on quotes. And he's just amazing. His hard work, his dedication, his vision, his energy and optimism. I can't say enough wonderful things about you, Rich, and I'm very happy for you.
Find the power. Oh,
Right, thanks.
My name is Loretta Lee. I'm the business operations manager for Community Flow. I wasn't planning this possible, but I came from the private sector. I go to the city over 6 years. I worked in the private sector and I had some amazing bosses that were incredibly valuable. When I left and came to the city, I was blown away at how hard things worked. I don't think he put less than 80 hours a week. He was working every day. I think he allowed one day, which was Sunday or Saturday, for his not to work. But he worked so hard, and I was blown away that this happens in government. I've gone on to learn that it's the same for my leader or for Johanna. People in government work really hard and lots. Every day I think, well, I do my job. You are the most amazing leader. Your guidance, your support. I step back and I've watched you teach someone how to do in a new position. And you just handle it so well. You're patient, you're informative, you never make me feel less than adequate. You're just amazing. You're probably the most amazing boss, one of the most amazing bosses I've ever had. We need to hear this. I'll give this. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your guidance. And thank you for what you do for the city.
well, the emotion is real. Well, I hand off to Richard Dixon with San Francisco.
Thank you. I'll keep it real brief because I know Rich already has a really big head full of these amazing things being said. They're all true. I just want to say a few words because I came into my position maybe a couple of months before the pandemic hit. And when it hit, the Chamber's a membership-driven organization, so our retention went down from 80% to 30% overnight. And I really felt like it was a chance for us to really stand up for what a chamber really means and what we're supposed to do. And I didn't know how to find my footing. I didn't know who to call, so I literally was getting on the phone and calling everyone that I could. And one of the first persons I reached out to was Rich Ram. And what I loved about Rich was that how collaborative and how inspiring, and if it wouldn't be for him, I really don't believe the chamber would be in the position it is today. Because he took the opportunity to include me in everything, and constantly reach out to me and brainstorm with me. And not only did he become such an incredible collaborator and colleague, but he's also become a very, very dear friend. And I know that if I ever need advice, he's a straight shooter. He's going to tell me how it really is. And also, he's just, like Liz said, I mean, if Rich is in a meeting and Liz, I know it's going to be a damn good time. So I want to thank you. My hat's off to you. You deserve this retirement. But thank you so much for taking me under your wing and truly inspiring me and really demonstrating what true collaboration is.
All right, let's see, we're closing in. We're closing in on our rest of our time. We've got a little queue that's forming over here, so I'll just, if you are a speaker or a potential speaker, if you might join that, that'll make it a little bit easier. But in the meantime, Charlotte Russell, Deputy Director with Arts and Culture.
Thank you. Are you guys awake now? Jeez, okay, well, I'm just gonna say, building on everything that everyone else has said, I just have to say the same. I've had a short tenure with the City of Santa Fe, about 2 years this month. I came in as a planner in the land use department, and there was this rumor about this great guy who was from San Francisco, and he does great things. And I was like, well, I used to live in San Francisco. And at our Christmas party that year, I saw him, and I just went up and I introduced myself, and I said, I'm Charlotte, I'm a planner, I work in the land use department, I heard you lived in San Francisco. I live there. And he said, yeah. And I said, can we talk sometime? And he was like, sure. So a couple of months later, we had a chance to talk. I found out he also lived in Delaware, I lived in Philadelphia. So we just had all these things in common, and then he was just infectious. His enthusiasm, his kindness, his humor, his humanity, as everyone else has said thus far. And in him, I saw somebody that I was willing to follow their vision and their lead and what they were trying to accomplish in the city of Santa Fe. And so I was very inspired and happy to then take on a new position in a new role that he very much said, you know, go for it. And I did, and I landed in the Department of Arts and Culture with my new director. I know she's here somewhere, Chelsea Johnson, who I'm just going to call her out because she said she ugly cried as well when Rich said he was retiring, because this is heartfelt for us. We feel like the work we do is sometimes hard. It's always rewarding, and it's always fulfilling when you get the validation from your boss. And Rich is amazing, and we're going to miss him, and I'm kind of mad at him for leaving us, but whatever. So yes, the intervention, let's do it, Mayor. Let's put him in a closet, not let him leave. No, not in a closet, I'm sorry. Let's just put him somewhere where he can't go, okay? Yeah. So anyway, I just want to say, personally and professionally, how much I think Rich is a wonderful human being, and I'm happy to know him and happy to have worked with him. And we're going to call him all the time because he's going to be on speed dial, whether he likes it or not. Okay. Thank you. And thank you, Rich. Congratulations and so much, blessings to you for your new role in retirement and all the work I know you're still going to be doing. All right? Thank you.
I see a big box around here. Let's see. And I'll mention that while the festivities here will end fairly soon, and it looks like we do have a few more speakers here, there is an opportunity to take a picture with a picture of Rich. and he's not leaving right away, but yes, a few more speakers. Robert Hibbert, please.
Thank you very much. I'm a stranger to many of you all, but I live down in Cerritos, and I am happily retired. But I have been 40 years in service running DC Kitchen, LA Kitchen, and helping to found World Central Kitchen with my friend Jose. And the pandemic hit right as we arrived here. And I got put in touch with Rich. And Rich wanted some new ideas. The mayor wanted some new ideas. And we got together. We really both agreed, even though the Food Depot and Sherry were killing it, we both agreed that we needed a hot meal program. Nothing says you're seen, we care, you are loved more than a hot meal. Now we hit a lot of roadblocks, but Rich would not be deterred. He put me together with Santa Fe Community College. Said, there's a big kitchen out there. And 1, 2, 3, Santa Fe Community College said, you bet. In fact, not only can we reopen the culinary program, but maybe we could get the culinary students back in. And they could get some credit hours while they prepared meals for the community. Well, that expanded to the nursing program. And the nursing students came back and they got credit hours, developing protocols to keep everybody safe who came in. We hooked up with YouthWorks. And their young people delivered the meals and we cooked. I called Jose and said, look, we really need some help. There's not a lot of dough ready floating around. Can we do this World Central Kitchen? He said, you go right now and get it going. Long story short, because of Rich's commitment, his tenacity, and his love of this city, he did 55,000 meals during the pandemic. And that really would not have happened. That would not have happened were it not for Rich's understanding of the community and his ability to see connections and connect people who care. Now, personally, I just want to add one little footnote. Rich has exquisite taste in music. And I would, often as we have video talks between us, and I would talk where I had my records, because I would listen to music while I was working. And Rich never hesitated to say, oh my God, what's that? So I hope in your retirement that you don't get pulled back into this, but you become DJ Richie.
Stand over here so I don't force anybody else to get some huge squeal. Mr. Frank Nordstrom, yes. Yes, come on over. Yes, you, sir.
You know my name.
Thank goodness I got it.
Well, I'm here just for one reason. I'm the one that really knows Rich Brown. I've heard a lot about the late. I'm going to tell you a few things no one has said yet. I was the first person in this group to meet with him in San Francisco. Remember that, Rich? Yeah. He was very nervous. So was I. I've been in his home several times. I don't know why he invites my wife and I to his home. He and Chris Nordstrom. So he makes a great cocktail. Things you've never heard of before. And I have to go home to a wife that says, can you make what Rich made? And I'm older, so I think, I don't remember what he made. Anyway, he's a great son-in-law. So fortunate. That's probably all I can say.
And Chelsea Johnson, Director of Arts and Culture.
I'll keep it brief. I've been here fairly briefly. Rich just hired me last summer. So much has been said about how brilliant Rich is at work. I echo all of that, and I also want to add that Rich is brilliant at pleasure. He's a great cook. He has a wonderful taste in music. He has style. He's effing hilarious, and he's so fun. When I interviewed with Rich, I remember asking him, what's one thing that you enjoy about this job? And he said, I love to inspire people in joyful leadership, or to lead with joy. And how often do you hear the word joy in a job review? It's something I think we could all stand to stay in touch with in the workplace, as in our lives. And for the last 8 months, I've had the joy and the privilege of having Rich in the same office as me 2 to 3 days a week. And those days fly. We all say, where did they go when Rich is there? So, you know what they say about when time flies. Rich has been not only so inspirational and so educational and so enlightening to work with you, it's also just incredibly fun. So, thank you so much for that. I learn from you every day, and I always will.
So, many of you may not know this, but Rich's first career was as a roller skate disco dancer. And we had a joke that he would perform for us at his retirement party. And I'm looking at these floors. Yeah. Where's the roller skates? On a personal level, all the stuff said before, but I wanted to take this time to acknowledge the role that you had at Midtown. You led a very complicated process for many years through a very tumultuous time and have laid the groundwork for an enormous transformational project for the city. It will evolve going forward, but you have established a baseline for what the vision of that project will be. You did it in partnership with all kinds of people, from the developer side and the architect side to the community side. You led a visionary process that was based on equity, and it will forever have an impact on this community. And you were at the helm of that, and you should be very, very proud of that. And I am very honored to continue that partnership.
And Mr. Miguel Costa. We've got a couple of speakers left, but yeah, we're saving the best for last here.
Thank you. Miguel Costa from Earth Care. And having worked for you, but I've worked with you a lot over these last few years. And like as people mentioned, some real difficult times. Most of you may know that one of our main goals as an organization is to make sure we get the right round people. And lots of spaces, right? You get a home run on this one, right? And you set a standard, a high standard for everybody that'll come after. We got to know each other pretty closely during the pandemic because our community was the most impacted and the least resourced during that difficult time. And sometimes on a daily basis, we were talking late in the day, early in the morning. It became one of those conversations that you see in the movies, like when we were calling in, that's the radio host, the midnight host, we were just sort of checking in with each other, what are you hearing, what are you seeing, etc. But partly we were also checking in on a personal level, because the headlines basically said, Rich and Miguel are going to die. Right? We met all the criteria, right, for high risk. So we were checking in with each other, how we were doing, how we were getting through this crazy time. And that was really crucial and important. But then what happens when the pandemic is over, he actually came out and started visiting us. He visited the community. He met with people, he listened. Everything that he took back from our conversations in one way or another is starting to develop at the city in terms of the long-term investments and development and such. So we're really happy. I'm not crying, you're crying. But we're really happy that you did the work that you did and got it all started for us. And look forward to working with you on a personal basis. The gift is from Earth Care from us, but it's also from the community. Right? The community really appreciates the level of connection that you established and the example that you set for the rest of the city. You've taken community engagement to a real level, and we really appreciate that. Thank you, Rick. We're going to miss you.
We're really close to the end. No? I'm just going to hand this off.
Oh, Rich. Everybody knows that everything's been something great, but I just want to add a little something too, that he's such a visionary that when I'm the founder of a nonprofit, STEM Santa Fe, and Rich could see the importance of nonprofits in the economic development of Santa Fe. And he was such a connector. Even last week, he was still connecting me with people. It's amazing. We had a lot of discussions about the role of nonprofits and the role of the youth. He's a great advocate for the youth in Santa Fe. And at one point I said, I see the kids in Santa Fe needing meaningful internships over the summer. And he said, let's do it. And it's like, I could personally be my own son intern for him. And it was an awesome experience. And he started the internship program at the City of Santa Fe Economic Development. And here we go, we've got 3 interns now. So he's not only a genius in economic development, but a supporter and an advocate for the youth and for the nonprofits in Santa Fe. And thank you so much.
All right. Well, we're bringing it to a close. I think we've got a couple more announcements about just a couple more things from the economic development. And someone's been really kind to bear with all of these comments. So we're going to give an opportunity for Rich to say a few words as well. But before that, John Wilson.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much for sharing those stories with us. I hope that we're leaving here with Rich's legacy in mind, because that's what I know I personally am and moved by the heart that is in this room and the joy that was mentioned. As a public servant, as a government worker, we have extreme emotion and commitment to what we do, Rich, and you have led the way, and this truly is your legacy. All of these folks in this room are carrying out your vision, your commitment to serving people and making the world a better place. So thank you so much. Thank you all. And 2 reminders, it's Pride. I see Kevin Bowen with Human Rights Alliance, Happy Pride. I encourage you to attend the celebration for Juneteenth that is coming up 14th, 15th. Share that and the time and the and sign up for our newsletter, last plug, and I'm going to turn it over to our esteemed and honored VIP, the Rich Brown, the Rich Brown. So.
I'm going to go to the podium this second because I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm thankful it's not a wake, but I'm very overwhelmed about what's happening here, especially with my too. So give me a second. I couldn't sleep last night because I promised myself I wouldn't make a speech. I've got 45 years of doing that, and I just talk like we're at coffee. But I'm a little verklempt right now, so I'm glad that I wrote something down. So I appreciate you bearing with me. I want to say thank you. First, thank you much for being here. Thank you much for your support and partnership. Thank you for Johanna for hosting us with her team. Thank you, Mayor Weber, for all of the opportunity he's given me. And it's been exciting, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next. But I want to definitely thank the Mayor for allowing me the opportunity to move up the ladder and to bring some support and leadership to CTEC and community projects. I also know that my in-laws are here, Frank and Jim Nordstrom, and my husband couldn't make it. He actually is joining a organization that advocates for foster kids. And so we had a webinar, a seminar I had to attend as a mandatory. But I want to thank him. He's my husband and my partner for 27 years. And so he's seen half of my career. And couldn't make it today, but he has been a very instrumental part of my life, and he's the reason why I'm in Santa Fe today. I started my career in the meetings of the hospitality industry in a gunmetal gray desk with an underwriter, Underwood typewriter, and a white out and a yellow pad. And about a year later, I got a Royal typewriter because it was electric, and just sort of went from there. And then from that, I visited in this career. I visited over 100 of the great cities of the world. I've met 4 presidents. I've met 1 prime minister. I've met Elton John. And I've had a long sabbatical. I've had a couple sabbaticals. This is my next one. And I retired from that first job after 25 years. So I'm a longevity guy. So I want to suggest that longevity is a good thing. From that career, 25 years, I pivoted to a small boutique event agency, and then during the Great Recession, I moved into the mergers and acquisition space, helping medium-sized companies and businesses. From there, we decided to move to Santa Fe because I said, I got this idea of finding my final resting place, but at 65, I wanted to retire, and we thought that would be a great place to live, both here and in California where we had a house. So I ended up here. I didn't retire, as you guys know, but I did get connected, and I wanted to be connected to the local community. So I searched out for an opportunity for work, knowing that I would just find something that would be fulfilling, and I'd meet people, because I didn't know anyone while I was here. And so I applied at a couple of local companies here, and then at the city. And a real true story, I was actually rejected for the job that I applied for. And the guy who was the director of the department said, no, I met this guy already. I really wanted to come and interview. But I'm going to put this on the sheet. So he interviewed me. I got the job. And lo and behold, to my great delight, I sat next to my work wife, Ms. Camacho. And I can't tell you how proud I was to be in a department that had so much fun and reached out to people. And that started back in 2018. And my first role there was to go out and be a Pied Piper to announce and to secure opportunity zones for the city of Santa Fe. We had 13 in the county, And 6 of them were in Santa Fe, and the governor actually signed the 6 for us. So we actually have 6 opportunity zones. One you can find on Airport Road in South Meadows. They're actually building housing there. And 2, believe it or not, is in Midtown, and that's happening next. So we're going to have a great opportunity zone story, but it took from 2018 to now to make it happen. From that, lots of coffee meetings there. Lots of coffee meetings there. I think I've spent about $10,000 in coffee meetings in my career. And I think all of you out there have had coffee with, so you understand. But lots of coffee meetings there, a lot of connections there. I think we've done a great job of sort of working through making the city a great place to live, work, and play. Lots of coffee meetings. Then COVID happened. It was a big game changer. I remember being in the mayor's office. It was my first time going through the budget process. We were in his office, his new office, and I was quiet, as a new guy, and he said, "Look, it's a team sport. You got to speak up." And I said, "Mayor, I don't see us preparing for an earthquake." He's like, "There are no earthquakes in Santa Fe." Mind you, this was January of 2020. And I think we all know what happened in March of 2020 when this pandemic started happening. So we were all prepared and moving forward. And I know a lot of people in this room helped us out as we made that journey out of the pandemic. Even though it's here now, I think we made our way out, and I think we're being a little bit more resilient up here in the city of Santa Fe. From there, I moved into this community development role and took on this portfolio of apartments. Keep in mind, this is Rich Brown you're looking at, who does not have a college degree. I am a trade school graduate, and I don't have a college degree, but I made my way through. And we are now a community development here. And there are 6 apartments that I run as executive sponsor with as leader. And I'm very proud of the people who are leading the department. I feel as if, as I lead this role, there are really smart, dynamic, innovative folks who are going to take it on from there. We will probably find a new community development director, but I'm very proud of the work that I was able to do to get the right people in place as we move forward. You're still hard, you was good at it. So lots of big ideas, policies, and programs later. I'll leave the public sector at the end of this month with a few big takeaways that I want to share with everyone. One is that I really believe we punched above our weight class here at Santa Fe. We really do. And I think this room shows the type of people that are making that happen. There are great people doing great things here, and I want that to keep on going. As I've been telling people, I'll be decompressing for a couple months. I'll be back around October, November time, and I'll also figure out what my next move is. But around the late fall, we'll see that. Probably Clubhouse, but that's where I'll be. And then I also want to make sure that you take this away. You've got to go out and meet people. Connections happen. A lot of people in this room are here because I connected with someone else, and connected with someone else, and connected with someone else, and we got things done. So I appreciate that you took my connections seriously, and we got things done. So connections are perfect. Go out and meet people. Even that means your lunchtime, your morning before your work, go meet people. Go shake hands. Go to where they are and meet people. The connections are valuable for us to build this city. Lastly, I think your presence here really reminds me that this is community development. This really is community development. I did my work every day. I'll admit I was a bureaucrat ultimately. But I think as I look out here into the sea of folks who I know and love, that this is community development. And I want to say, you need to say thanks to yourself too, because we will move forward. With me or without you, but the city will move forward, and you are a part of it. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you again, Rich. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing. Let's take Rich's words and his inspiration and go out there and carry on. Thank you so much. Lots of food, lots of coffee. Again, thank you to Good Works for the catering, and have a great day.